What's exciting and what brought me to Criteo in the first place is we see that more retailers, almost 50% more retailers, will come into fruition in the next year or two, which is, when you think about it, kind of amazing. You can't really go to many other places where you see this much growth in such a short time period. And so that's in Canada, that's in the US, and that's also in LATAM. So I kind of am seeing more similarities than differences throughout the Americas region, which makes it fun.
And then how about the kinds of retailers that you're seeing kind of move into the space?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I mean, we obviously see a lot of the traditional retailers like a Target or a Walmart that has obviously huge online presence, but then also brick and mortar. But I think what's exciting is that grocery is coming on with a vengeance, and you see it with Albertsons and Kroger, and leading the way with their first-party data. They're very sophisticated about how they're approaching it, but I think a lot of other grocery will follow suit, which will be not only interesting, but as a mom who is shopping at grocery stores on a regular basis, I'm excited for kind of that next stage.
And I know that those guys see it as a huge growth opportunity for their companies. I mean, it's something that I've spoken to them about. So do you feel a sort of stronger level of commitment, or maybe a higher level of readiness from new retailers getting into the space, as opposed to folks that maybe were sort of more in the experimental phase a few years ago?
Yeah, I mean, I think based on size and sort of digital presence over the last, say, 5 to 10 years, people are at varying levels of sophistication in the space. I think it starts with the first-party data that these retailers have. I also think, when a lot of people talk about retail media, they think of just the retailers, but it's actually really a whole ecosystem. So it's the retailers, it's brands, it's agencies, it's marketers, and it's publishers, all kind of coming together to bring this to life. And so I think there's some really unique partnerships that are cropping up, and that to me is also really exciting.
I mean, the first-party data thing is so interesting because it does require a certain level of readiness to be able to use that data. So do you see a lot of variability in readiness to be able to kind of make use of that data?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think, listen, it's a retailer's crown jewel, their first-party data. And so they're obviously, and they should be, very protective of it. And so I think there's a lot of conversation around how to use it in a brand safe way and just in a smart way. And I think different retailers have kind of looked at it in a varying degrees of ways, and how different partnerships can really help bring first-party data to life in a way that makes sense for the end consumer as well as for the retailer.
To me, it feels like the year of new models of data collaboration.
Yes, yeah, I would agree to that. I mean, listen, as a consumer, I think I was at CNET for a really long time, and we used to talk about technology in general. You know that it's working if it's transparent and intuitive, and I think that's the promise of first-party data. Like, I just want to be able to go into a store, whether it's brick and mortar, or go online and have information served to me that is what I want to buy that day. And I think there's enough first-party data out there that we're getting closer and closer to that becoming a reality.
So shifting gears slightly, or maybe it's just exactly the right next question. We're at Shop Talk.
Yep.
So what are you excited about for this? Is a huge event for that community.
Yeah.
So what are you excited about?
I think that the whole notion of omni-channel, which to us that really means like, what are you doing online, and then how does that translate into your in-store experience? I'm excited to see how different people are tackling that, because I think that it's a vibe. Like, a lot of people are talking about omni-channel, and I think some of the technology is really advanced, and I think it's not that far away. I mean, you've probably been in stores, in some of the Amazon stores as an example, where you walk in and they know you're there and they're serving you things when you get there. I think there's a lot of players that will really come to step up in the next few years and make that more of a reality, and that's exciting.